Hello and welcome to another review here, and today I'm going to be doing a spoiler review of The Punisher. It came out last weekend, but it was tough to binge. It's a lot easier to binge something that's 8 to 10 episodes than 13, so sorry for this coming out a little bit late, but I got through with it and I'm doing it now. But before I get into the review, I have to say a spoiler alert. Like I said, this is going to spoil the Punisher. I'm not going to try to spoil everything, but there will be some spoilers in this review, so definitely consider yourselves warned. And also, we have a new Facebook page. It's facebook.com/ccinemareviews page, so definitely check the channel out there. We're also on Twitter at ccinemareviews, so tweet me whenever you want. With that being said, let's get into the review. So, The Punisher, obviously starring Jon Bernthal. It was 13 episodes, came out last weekend. It was a tough time to try to binge it, and I had work this week, so sorry for this review being late, but let's get into it. Is it good? Yeah, it's really good, but in a different way than I was expecting. It definitely wasn't what I expected. It's called The Punisher, but honestly, he doesn't do a lot of punishing, and really until the last 3 episodes or so is when you really start getting into he puts the vest on, he puts the skull on his bulletproof vest, and then he starts going out there and taking some dudes out. That being said, it's a great Law and Order type of show with some punishing in it, and that's not bad. That's just, I had different expectations when I saw the trailer. They show you all the flashy parts, all the punishing parts, or at least bits of the punishing parts, and you're like, oh, okay, so we're gonna get 13 episodes of him going around taking people out with the skull on his chest. That's not what you get. So it was definitely a little bit of a shock to me when I was like, okay, episode 8, he really hasn't done any punishing up to this point. But now that I think back on it, it's still a really good show. Everyone does a great job. I think that it is an amazing law kind of movie or TV show. And most of the new characters, I say most of them because Sam Stein is he's Agent Madani's under agent, whatever you call it, partner, I guess you would call it. He was really the only character that I did not care for. Everybody else I thought was really good. Everybody else I thought was, just like hit it out of the park. All the new characters, and sometimes it's tough, sometimes it's tough to introduce so many new characters and have all of them hit, and most of them, 99% of them did for me. I thought just Sam Stein, I didn't care for the character. I didn't feel like I didn't feel sad when he gets killed. And that's probably my fault. It was just, to me, you have a great cast. Everybody was good. Sam Stein, the actor playing him, was still really good. It's just, for me, I didn't care about that one character. And so when he died and that kind of became a big thing, I was like, okay, I'm sorry for you, but I really don't care about that. Honestly, everybody hits a home run. Ben Barnes is Billy Russo. He's really good. Like, dude, I like the reveal. I think it was in episode 5 or 6. The reveal of him being, with Paul Schultz's character, Rollins. The reveal of them two being in collusion with each other. It was a really great reveal. It was right at the end of the episode, and it was a nice way to get me to want to watch episode, I think 7. I think it was at the end of episode 6, and it made me want to watch the episode 7. So I honestly think that everything that they introduced and the show itself was a really solid show. I think it's one of the best ones that Marvel and Netflix have teamed up for. I still think Daredevil seasons 1 and 2 are better, but everything else, I think this might be the third best season of any Marvel property on Netflix. Just talk right now about some story. So honestly, they kind of retconned it. They changed the story from that we got in season 2 of Daredevil, and I'm still not quite sure how I feel about it, because in Daredevil season 2, the reason that Jon Bernthal as the Punisher, the reason that his family died was because there was a mob war and his family just got caught in the middle of it. And now they totally just changed that. They didn't I don't want to say that they just like threw that out the window, but it feels like they did because now they changed the story in the Punisher to where you had Rollins, who ordered Billy Russo to have Frank and his family killed because Frank was a part of their squad. Frank was a part of their hit squad over in, the Middle East and taking out high value targets without, that, and it was done illegally. And Frank was a part of that. And Frank wanted out of that squad. And so Rollins was like, hey, Bill, you got to take this guy out because he could tell people about what we did. He could blow the whistle on our whole operation. And it was because that squad, that military unit, was funded by selling heroin out of Kandahar and selling that. And what they did was they would put the heroin in the dead bodies of our military people, and then they would ship them home, and that's how the people back in the United States would get the heroin. And so Frank was like, no, this isn't happening. I gotta get out of here. This is bad. And so apparently they changed it to where Rollins told Billy Russo to have Frank killed. They killed his family. They shot Frank in the head, just didn't kill him, and that's how they changed the story from Daredevil season 2 to what it is now in the Punisher. So when Jon Bernthal, when the Punisher realizes that, when Frank realizes that, he's like, okay, I gotta kill Rollins and I gotta kill Bill Russo. So it becomes a long game of cat and mouse. But at the same time, you have a new character, Dina Madani, played by Amber Rose Reva, who is really good in the show. And she is a Homeland Security agent, and she wants to take out Rollins and Bill Russo. Well, not Bill Russo, but she wants to take out Rollins because she gets sent a video by Micro. Now Micro is David Lieberman, who was a analyst for the CIA, and then he came across this video, and it was a video that one of the soldiers in that top secret military group, he videoed Rollins torturing what ended up being Madani's partner out in Kandahar. They had a video of Rollins torturing him, and then they had a video of Frank Castle shooting that partner and killing him. And so that's why Rollins was going to have Micro killed. Thought he had Micro killed. They shot him in the chest, but his phone was right there, so apparently the phone stopped the bullet, which I'm not sure that's how strong phones are, but hey, whatever. Maybe he had a great case. So you have this cat and mouse where Frank is going after Rollins with the help of Micro, and then you have Madani who's going after Rollins, but under the law, and she finds out that Frank's still alive. Eventually the whole world finds out that Frank's still alive. She tries to get Frank and Micro to help her because Micro has the video and Frank is the eyewitness because he was there. He watched Rollins torture Madani's partner, and so she's trying to get them to help her take out Rollins legally. And then Frank's like, nah, dude, it's not happening. That's not how I work. They call me the Punisher, not the rat who blows the whistle on this whole operation. And it's really cool. But by the end, yes, Frank does go in as a witness. They give the video. It's kind of like, and it's kind of weird because he does all that stuff, and then they don't put him in protective custody because Bill Russo gets Sarah Lieberman, who is David Lieberman, Micro's wife and kid, and they exchange them two for Frank and David Lieberman, but Lieberman gets shot, but not really because, conspiracy and all that great stuff. So Frank ends up getting, tortured. He ends up getting beaten. I mean, this dude loses so much blood. This guy should not be living, but he's Frank Castle, so he can't die in The Punisher. You know what I'm saying? They don't like killing off characters. or at least main good characters. So Frank gets help from Billy Russo because Billy was like, hey, you give us the codes to stop this video from going online, and I'll kill you quickly. He gives him the codes and everything. And then Rollins is like, nah, I gotta take this guy's eye out. And so Billy Russo helps him out. Frank ends up killing Rollins. Frank ends up killing Billy Russo. It's all great. And yeah, the story itself is great. It's fine. It's just the thing that jades it a little bit to me, that makes it, a little not as good as it would have been, is that they had to change the story. They threw out the story that was in Daredevil season 2, and they were like, nope, this is a better story for us, so we'll use this one instead. Let's talk some more about the characters. Now, Frank, man, Jon Bernthal is probably the best protagonist in any Marvel Netflix show. I mean, this guy, over the course of these 13 episodes, this guy loses it sometimes. Sometimes he keeps it together just at the right points. This guy is so perfect. Jon Bernthal is the Punisher. He is Frank Castle, and he's so good. But honestly, you guys, this guy needs to learn how to duck, because this guy he always looks like he just got hit by a train twice. I mean, like, man, they must be playing pinball with this dude's face, because he's always beat up for some reason. He's always shot. He got shot like at least once an episode. He gets stabbed like half of the episodes. I mean, this guy loses so much blood. This dude should need a transfusion for the rest of his life. He should be on constant transfusions, because this guy loses it all. I mean, he loses teeth. He almost loses an eye at the very end. He just needs to learn how to duck, and then he might look a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Look, Jon Bernthal does the best. Honestly, not in all of the Marvel Netflix, but all of Marvel. Through any movie, through any TV show I've ever seen that is Marvel, I've never seen anybody do a better job of portraying a character than Jon Bernthal does at portraying the Punisher. Because he's got the absolute animalistic nature of Frank Castle when he's angry. He's got that down. And then he can cry. I mean, he cries for his family. He can shed the tears. He can be emotional. Jon Bernthal he's Frank Castle, and he can do everything they asked him to in this role. And Madani's pretty good. Amber Rose Riva, she has some great scenes. She's awesome. She's cool. She's fun. She's a beautiful lady. She's really good in this show. She has a great scene where she's mourning the death of Sam Stein, who and she's in the bathtub, but it's like, it's so good because it's like the sound is just drowned out, and you just see her and the way she acts. And then the way she acts when she hears for the first time that Jon Bernthal was the one who killed her partner in Kandahar. Like, that scene right there also. She does really good work in this show, and I commend her for everything that she did. Micro is great. Micro is hopefully Micro's like the perfect, almost the perfect man in the chair. You know, from Spider-Man Homecoming, how they were talking about the man in the chair with all the computers and everything. Micro is that dude, and Micro, he plays that great. Ibn Moss-Bachrach, I think is how you pronounce his name. I got it right there. Don't know how to say it. Sorry, I only know him as David Lieberman or Micro. So Micro is great. I think he does a really good job in this. He does a really good job of knowing that his family is still alive, but having them still alive might make it worse because he's so close. Like, he can see them on the cameras, yet he can't talk to him. He can't go there. He can't just be the father that he wants to be. He sees his kid punching his other kid, and he can't do anything about it. And it was really, really well acted by him, and I applaud him also. Daniel Weber, this guy should get an Emmy nomination. I do believe that because he's just that good. He plays the ex-vet who hates the government, who's going down a dark path, who knows what good and bad is, yet he still does the bad thing for probably the right reason. He knows that, and he plays it so well. This guy is one to watch. I wished that he would have lived, but unfortunately that's not what the character needed, so I understand that. But look for this guy. He's really good. I hope he gets more work in the future because of this, because I think he did a great job in this. Rollins does a little bit of overacting. Paul Scholes does a little bit of overacting at the very end, but for the most part, you hate him, and you hate that he's there. You love it when Jon Bernthal or Frank is like making fun of him because Frank like beat him, like punched him once, and then his eye got messed up, and it's like just a few times where it seems like he's overacting, where he's just going all Nicolas Cage on us. But Bill Russo, guys, Bill Russo is definitely the best villain in this show. He's way better than Rollins, and you'll love to hate him, and that's the thing. For the first 5 or 6 episodes, he was a good guy, and then he makes that turn, and then he's total villain, but yet he still has honor. He's still a brother to Frank, and you understand that, and I love to hate him, and that's something that is the mark of a true great villain, is that I'm so glad that they kept him alive. I thought that they were going to kill him. I thought that Frank was, gonna kill him, because this dude loses a lot of blood at the last fight too. I mean, he loses a lot of blood, but hey, he's still around. I can't wait to see what he does in the future. And he was a great villain. Just love to hate him. Bringing this review to a close, I think that this is a really, really good show. For the first 7 episodes, when he didn't do a lot of punishing, maybe like 2 scenes of punishing up until that point, I was like, why are you calling this the Punisher? This should be called Frank and Lewis. You know what I'm saying? Frank, Micro, and Lewis, or something like that. But as it got further, as we started getting the punishing, as things started to go down, it just got really good, and I think that it's a really good season of The Punisher. I think it's a great first season, probably the second best show. The second best show on Netflix that is Marvel. I think Daredevil is the best, without a doubt. I do think that this is the second best show so far out of all 5 shows. Well, not including The Defenders. But this is a really good season. I did have the wrong expectations. I'll admit it. I had the wrong expectations. I went into it thinking that we would get action all the time. Frank shooting people, Frank stabbing people, doing all that great stuff. But, I was wrong. I didn't have the right expectations. But now that I look back on it, if I would have had the expectations of, okay, this is like a Law and Order, but you have the Punisher in there, so you're going to get those shooting, you're going to get the stabbing, you're going to get all that great stuff with it, I think I would have liked this even more. But, like, my expectations were not met, but that's not saying that this was a bad show. That's saying that I expected the wrong things from the show. And this show delivered on everything that I could have wanted. I did get the punishing. I got that, and I'm really happy with what we got. We got some great stories. We got great new characters. We got a setup for a second season with the fact that Billy Russo is still alive, and so he's probably going to be the villain in the second season. We got everything that is in a good season, where you have great new characters. You have actual stakes because of Sam Stein's his death, and then so you knew that this definitely could happen. People are not safe. Even Frank is not safe, because there was a few moments in there where I thought, this guy's getting shot a lot. This guy's getting punched a lot. This guy's getting stabbed a lot. Maybe he's gonna die here. I didn't know that. Maybe it would have been a nice, one season where Frank dies at the end, and it would have been an amazing season, probably the best one ever. But they didn't do that. They did some really cool things. I thought that this was a great season, and I think that it is a Punisher. This is a great season of The Punisher. Yeah, I thought there would be a lot more punishing, but it's fine. When I look back on it, I think, you know what, they did the right thing. They did the right thing in having it be kind of like Law and Order, where you have to do this the right way. But not really at the very end because it's the Punisher and you gotta have taken some people out. So I think this is a great season. I think that everybody should watch it. If you haven't finished it already, definitely watch it. It definitely gets better at the end, which is not something I can say for a few of the other Marvel shows. This one gets better. Some of the other ones kind of drop off towards the end, but this one definitely gets better, and it gets better through every episode. I don't think that there is any episode in this season that shouldn't be there. I think that everybody who comes in to act, who's returning, is great. I think that everybody who's brand new is really good also, and I want to see where this show goes next. Hopefully Micro and Punisher continue to work together. Jigsaw or Billy Russo is coming back. Maybe we get some more people higher up in the government who are corrupt that Frank has to go after. I don't know. I'm just excited to see what we get. Well, there you go. That's my review of The Punisher Season 1. I'm sorry if I didn't get to a certain episode, a certain moment, a certain scene that you guys would like to have heard my thoughts on. But you can tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you want me to answer any thoughts on a scene or a character or something that I didn't mention, definitely tell me your thoughts down there. Ask me a question. I'll definitely respond to any and everybody who does. Go on the Facebook page, facebook.com/ccinemareviews page. We're also on Twitter @ccinemareviews. So definitely check the channel out. Tell me your thoughts. Ask me questions. Whatever. I wanted this to be a shorter. I wanted this to be a short review. I know it's not a short review by many people's standards, but there are 13 hours of The Punisher. And so if I were to talk about every episode, every little scene that I thought was amazing, this would be a really, really long review. So I tried to cut out all the fat. I tried to keep it as short and as simple and as easy for you to consume as possible. So I'm sorry if I missed something, but definitely ask me my thoughts. I want to know your thoughts anywhere and everywhere down below, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you want. Tell me your thoughts, and I'll definitely answer any questions that you would like. Tell me what you would like to see me review next. I definitely want to do something that my fans would like. I want to talk with you about as many things, movies, TV related. TV might be a little bit harder because there might be a lot of things that I haven't seen. There's a lot of episodes per season, then there could be a lot of seasons, so definitely keep that in mind. But hey, I had fun doing this review. I wish I would have binged it. I found out that binging is probably better than watching it over a long period of time. It was tough to binge all 13 hours. So please forgive me for this being a little late, but definitely tell me your thoughts, and don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button if you've enjoyed this review and want to see more like it in the future. Thank you for watching this one.